Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, June 24th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. There. All right, looks good. So as people are joining in, go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Hour. 1 hour. $30, 15, 10, and we're good. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, June 24th. It is 6:28 right now. Market's gonna open in about 2 minutes. Sorry, guys, I tried to get on early today, but unfortunately my computer had to shut down due to some error overnight, and it took forever for me to boot it back up. Sorry, guys. As I said yesterday and a couple days before, for this session, I'm going to be trading like we used to in the past, very speculative, kind of just taking trades based off my analysis, basically using all the confluences and strategies that we've learned over the years. I'm going to be using one chart here. So you'll see it's going to be super messy because I have liquidity marked up on the same chart. I'm pretty much going to do all my analysis on this chart. And I'll be looking for trades in direction of structure. So for example, over here, price looks like it's shifting to the upside. My target price points are going to be the sessions, levels, and liquidity up here, right? So I'm going to be looking for opportunities to take buys up here to ride entries to these levels here. So, I mean, you guys will see it. It'll be a quick, fast-paced live session where I'm basically taking trades based off my analysis here. So right here, or throughout this session, I'll be shifting between buys and sells, of course. And I'm not really going to be waiting for candles to close. If it looks like price action is good, I'll be riding it to whichever levels I'm looking for. So right now, currently, I'll probably be looking for some buys. Main reason is because of the trend here shifting. You can see prices pushing up and market is now open, guys. So price is pushing up to the levels right here. I was planning on maybe taking it, but because the sessions are right there, I decided not to. The next level where price will likely reach will be up here. So these two levels of liquidity here got hit already. So if you guys took that, that's the first level of liquidity right there. I'll be looking for price to push back up. So I'm going to clean up these levels of liquidity because they've already been hit. But my current bias right now is currently for a buy. So I'll be looking for possible buys here. I've also linked my Apex to here, so you guys will probably see my orders fill on the trading view chart. So, I guess price is kind of going back and forth right now. I don't really have a bias right now. Every time I look for a trade, I'll have a bias. So I'll be looking for a buy or a sell, and I'll only be looking for buys or sells at that time. So right now I'm still looking for buys because price does look somewhat bullish right here. The next target price point, if price does decide to climb up, is probably going to be the liquidity up here. But at this very moment, price is kind of just sitting down the middle. So I'm not exactly looking for anything specific here right now. So I'm just going to follow price. Once I see liquidity push to the upside or to the downside, I'll be looking for the next target. If price pushes down, next target will be the levels and liquidity down here, of course. Price pushes up. Next target is going to be liquidity up here. All right, so we'll see here if price decides to drop further. All right, so the first target price point is going to be this right here. There we go, as price hit liquidity. I didn't take any entries there yet. I'm going to be following it as price comes down to the next level. And I hate how the candles are so tight. All right, so the next opportunity is going to be down here. And I'll be looking to possibly catch this push down to this next level down here. I'm going to be looking for price action here to provide some opportunity, but I will be looking for some sells here. If I decide to take any trades here, I'll let you guys know. But as of now, there's no clear direction right now as price continues to go back and forth. But if I'm looking for sells, target price point is going to be the levels down here. If I'm looking for buys, target price point is going to be the liquidity up here. Right now, I'm probably going to be more concerned with taking sells here than buys because the trend here is bearish. So I'll be looking for price to come down around here. If price drops below this level, probably look to take a sell. No, I'm not liking the price action right now. If it comes down here, I'll look to take some possible sells. Not around this area so much. It's touching the session, so it's not really a clean area. All right, the volatility here is all right, but it's not super as fast as I'd like. I'm gonna take this here for a quick sell. So there's my entry point right there in the position. Falling as it comes down.
Order submitted.
There it goes. Price drops lower. I'm gonna close out of that one. All right, so I got out for a partial right there, locked in a couple points. I just don't like the volatility here is too low, as you guys can see. You guys can see my entry right there, entered for a sell. Got out right there, close to my TP.
Order filled.
In and out super quick. This is how my trading is going to be for the day, guys. This is probably going to hit TP, but again, like I said, it's going to be fast paced. It's going to be watching the price action. So there goes my first entry right there. As you guys can see, I got it from that candle, got out really quick. Would have hit TP, but it's okay. I'm not taking any unnecessary risk here. I mean, it looked good for the most part, but again, I'm going to be trading based off my analysis, not going to be taking any dumb trades here, just going to be getting in and out. If I don't feel comfortable about a position, I'll get out. But again, the target price point is going to be this down here. So I'll keep looking for some sells here. Basically, I'm looking at price action. I'm looking for a nice wick up. So this is what I'm kind of looking for. I'm looking for price to come up really quick and then come back down. So I'm looking for price to come up, wick back down, and then reach for this lower level right here. So I'll be looking again for another opportunity here for a sell. Not yet. So I'll look for it again to maybe wake up, come back down a little hard, and then reach back down further for another. Let me get in right here. All right, so I'm watching it right here. Comes down lower.
Order submitted.
Watching it right here. Price is coming down. Full TP. I'm out. Locking. I'm up $1,000 for the day so far, guys. Quick little move right there. Look at the price action. Saw price come up. Rejected off the pivot. Came right back down. Went straight to my full TP. You guys can see my entries right here. Took my sell right there. Took my sell right there. Two full TPs back to back. Quick 30 points right there. Let me keep watching it over here for another entry. Again, I'm still looking for sells, guys. I'm looking for price to come down to hit this. To hit this target price point right here. Fuck, I missed my trade. I'm looking to get in again right here as a bounce, but it's okay. So I got in twice right there. The volatility here is a little low now, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'll let this movement breathe. But there were my two entries right there. You guys can see I've logged into my Apex on here, but I'm trading on my personal. So yeah, so that was where I was going to get in again right there, but it's all good. Would have been nice. 3 back-to-back wins right there. There goes. Price drops down lower. Target price point is going to be the level down here again. So I'm just watching price action. If I see any, again, I'm looking for price to push up, bounce off, come back down, provide that wick, and catch the volatility spike back to the downside. Nothing here yet. Again, I'm looking for price to push up, come back down. ATR is currently 17 right now. All right, so right here, I'm looking at this candle. If this thing swings back down and the candle turns red, I will be looking to take this here for another opportunity for entry. I like it when it starts green and it swings back down at the last second. 20 seconds left on this candle. No, nothing there. I'll wait for the next candle here. All right, perfect. I want this to push up like that. If it swings back down, I'll be taking the sell. No, doesn't look like it's going to happen. We might get a shift back up. If we get a shift back up, that's fine. Start looking for some buys. Again, target price point again will be up here. So not a big deal. All right, let's see. And I hate when there's not enough bolts or the candles are kind of spread out like this. Let me check the news real quick. There's news at 7:30. Let me just put that up. Just be aware. All right, so price pushes up, that's fine. Looks like the sells here are probably gonna chill for a bit. All right, so I'm looking for the same thing now to the upside. So now target price point is going to be up here. Looking for price to push up. The only problem is we got a bunch of sessions right here in the middle. All right, so now it's got to wait a little bit. So guys, if you guys are just joining, I'm in for 2 trades so far. Got these 2 trades right here, up about 30 points, about 1,000 per account. Lowered my contract size, so I'm taking 8 contract on the 300K. So that's why I'm only up 1,000. I'd be up like 3,000 right now if I use a full contract size, but it's okay. I'd rather take lower risk on these trades here, especially since we're just finally getting back into this. All right, so we are looking for price to push up to this next level right here. Yeah, it's at the session, so I'm not really going to mess with it here. Look for price to kind of push up a little bit higher. All right, so the volatility here is kind of low. This is exactly the reason why I'm trading this way, how we used to in the past, guys, because you have to catch the volatility when it's actually high, right? The volatility was super high right here. Now it's kind of low. If it picks back up again, then great. We'll start looking for some opportunities, but my target price point is going to be the liquidity up here. So I'll be looking at price action to see if I can take any buys when price pushes up to that point. Like I said in the past, you have to adapt with the market. The market's too, like the problem with taking it on closed candles is that by the time the candle closes, it's too late and it's possibly going to reverse. So in a lot of instances, you got to use all your confluences here, look for patterns, V1 variations, V2 variations, V3, look for breakout V3 continuations, etc., to identify price action. Where price is pushing up. So again, my target price point is going to be the liquidity up here. If it doesn't push up and it comes back down, that's completely fine because the target price point still has not been touched down here, right? So it doesn't really matter. We can trade in both directions. You just got to be quick to adapt with the market. If market's going up, then look for targets up here. Price is coming down, look for targets down here. There's 2 targets up here. So there's levels and there's also liquidity. The only problem right here is that it's in between sessions right now. So it's kind of a tricky area to look for some entries. And I'm typically not going to hold positions the whole time, right? If the TP doesn't hit right away, I'll pull out early. If the market starts to go sideways like this, I'll pull early. I'm actively watching the chart, actively paying attention to my entries, making sure I'm getting in and out when I need to. This is a more advanced way of trading, of course. So just got to be quick. Got to be following the price movement. If the trade turns against you, you got to be able to pull out. All right, so we got price coming back down, it looks like. From what we've noticed, the volatility only stays around until 7. So, I mean, we'll keep looking around for entries here, but if the volatility kind of dies out, then, of course, I'll just wrap it up for the day. So the volatility here is kind of flat. I'm going to keep looking though. This is what we've kind of noticed over the past couple weeks, market's pretty volatile, 6:30 to 7, then kind of dies out. There has to be volatility for the entries to play out. All right, we got price coming back down, so just pay attention, guys. We're looking for price to come down and retest, or not retest, but actually test this lower level down here. So I'm looking at price action here. Price decides to come back down, perfect. We're going to look for some price action entries over here to indicate that price is likely to come back down. You can see the top over here was kind of established. It kind of leveled up right here, or it rounded out right here at the sessions, and now it's like coming right back down. Perfect. So I'm looking at this here. I'm looking at the price action. Again, my target price point is going to be this level right here, but I'll be entering and exiting positions as price comes down lower. So right here, for example, if this thing swings back down and it turns red at the last second, I'm going to take this here for a sell. I'm just reading price action. I'm watching it, staying consistent, just following it here. It's not looking like it's going to come down, but if it does, I'll be watching for it right here, because that's where those volatility spikes happen. They happen when you least expect it. You got to be ready to hop in and out super quickly. when that happens. Okay, so it looks like price isn't coming down yet, so that's fine. If it doesn't come back down, it's just going to range between these two levels here. That's kind of what's happening at this point. So I would have been fine if there wasn't these sessions in the middle, because if we didn't have the sessions right there, we could trade between this area. We can look at price action and we can actually catch these bounces. Like for example, here, how I said price came down and shot up, I could have taken the buy right here, right? And I could have rode this back up to the next level. But because the sessions are right here in the middle, I'm not going to take these trades because obviously this is where manipulation will likely happen. So I'm going to stick away from this area here. And also I got a market opening price next day. I totally forgot to do that today. All right, so I'm not going to label anything. I mean, we know what the colors mean. Yeah, there we go. There is opening price. So here's the thing, opening price will also be a target, right? So price comes down below here. What we'll be targeting would be the opening price, right? If price pushes up super high, we're going to be targeting the opening price to return. So you're just looking for price targets. So you're looking for price targets, and then you're looking for price action, right? Because price target right here, example, is liquidity. Price action below is a level. Price is currently at open. So again, if price decides to climb up here, that's perfectly fine. We'll be looking for some buys here. The only thing is that we need price to kind of push away from these sessions because these sessions are not a good area to trade in. So, all right, paying attention for some buys here now. I just need price to get away from the sessions right here. Again, for the people just joining the room, I see some people are coming in and out. We've already taken 2 positions for the day, these 2 sells right here as we're trying to reach this lower level. We took them both for 15 points. So we're up 30 points for the day. I'm up 1,000 for the day because I lowered my contract size, and we're looking for some buys here now. All right, so we got some volatility here as price pushes up. Again, I'm going to look for the price action to look for opportunity for entry here. Look for price action. I'm going to have to look for it up here. It's kind of too close to the sessions right here. I need it to kind of push up a little bit, retrace hard, come back up, and climb up to the level of liquidity here. This actually would have been an entry that I would have been looking to take, but because it's touching the sessions, not going to take it. Looks like it would have been nice too. This thing did that pattern that I just showed you guys. I'm looking for it to come down hard and then come back up super hard so that it can push up further. So again, I'm going to be looking for price action over here. No, it's too late for me to take entry at this point. It's probably gonna hit target right there. Yep, hit target. It's all good. So that's what I was looking for. I was looking for price to come hit this target. The thing with this candle is that it was touching the session, so I just held off on it. But I was gonna hop in. I said right here, when price gets to this point, and I'm gonna look to take entry there. So it's all good. Price hit the target right there. Next target's gonna be levels up here. I'm not going to chase it now. This candle is a little too big at this point. We'll look for that retracement. There goes that liquidity there. If you guys take the liquidity, that's another win right there. Take this buy right here real quick. Ah, fuck. The entry was not good on that one. Got in super late. I'm going to get out early right there. Going full TP again. So I got out a little early right there, guys. I mean, it was super small, like a couple points. But I got in at like really shitty entry. I was trying to get in right here because of the volatility spike. It ended up filling me in like over here. I made like a couple bucks on that trade, maybe $100 on that trade. So again, target price points right here. I'm expecting price to push up. The reason why I pulled out of that once I went into profit was because I got in at like horrible entry. You guys saw the line right there, right? The line was like way up here. So I had to just pull out when it pushed up because the, yeah, I mean, profit's profit, right? I'll take it. There you go. Next target right there was hit. So this way, I think this style of trading is actually easier, guys, from like our regular way of trading. You're just looking at price action. All right, now next target's up here. Again, I'm looking for price to push up. But you guys can see 3 targets are already, well, we already took 3 trades for the day. So that's about 45 points. So we took 15 here, 15 here, another 15 here. Unfortunately, I got in for like crappy entry. So I pulled out for a small profit. Again, the next target price point is going to be up here. So I'm going to look at price action to kind of point me in that direction. Don't have anything yet, but I mean, it looks like price might be a bit overextended at this point. All right, so again, next target price point is right here. I'm looking for price action to kind of point me in that direction. I'll hold off right here a little bit. It's a bit overextended. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off for a little bit. Let the market kind of stabilize here for a bit. I mean, this could have been the entry right here. Fuck. There was the entry right there. So I'm just gonna be a little more careful on this side, guys, because it's very overextended, but this is the same pattern. So you guys saw how this candle here was red. It came down red and it spiked right back up. And that's where I was looking to take the entry. I'm just looking at price action. I'm not doing anything crazy here. I'm just looking at how price is kind of coming down a little bit and then correcting back up. Target price point is going to be the level right here. So as much as I would have liked to take that trade there, I think price is a bit overextended. I'm going to wait for it to kind of retrace back a little bit. There was some nice moves right there. Yeah, this thing's up 150 points. See how far is it from target? It's probably going to hit target. The same pattern I just mentioned came up again. So it came down first and then it pushed up. So I'm gonna hold off on it right now. So this is what I want to, what I'm going to be looking for next. I'm going to look for it to come down, retest off the level, and then probably come back up like that. All right, so we got a V1 pattern right here. This is a reversal pattern if it closes red. And if it does close red, I'm going to look for it to come down. Fuck, never mind. It's probably going to shoot all the way up now. There, target price point. It's all good. Yeah, so it looks like it's about to shoot up. So this is the pattern I was just mentioning to you guys again, full TP. Fuck, it's all good. Not going to get greedy there. I was getting tempted to click the buy because that pattern again I showed you came down red, right? And then it came right back up. That's the price action I'm looking for to continue to my price points. This thing's super bullish today. Super bullish. Yeah, it's all good. I'll keep looking over here. Man, this thing is super far out. I want to like leave all the candles on the chart, but it's pushing up super far out, so I can't really. Okay, the next target price point is the next level, guys. You guys see the pattern here? You're just riding the wave. That's literally what we're doing. We're just riding the wave here. I'm surprised it hasn't retraced back yet. I'm gonna wait for the retracement at this point. I'm like okay with just like riding it, but this wave is overextended, way overextended. So guys, just a heads up, I see a lot of people are entering and exiting the room. Just an update on our trades for the day. We took 3 trades for the day so far. 2 sells right here on the bottom for 15 points each, and then this buy over here for 15 points. So we're up 45 points for the day, 3 wins back to back. I unfortunately got into this one for partial, so I'm only up like about 1,000 for the day. Lowered my contract size, so profits are a little bit smaller, but it allows me to take more risk. So again, target price point is going to be up here, guys. You guys can see where my entries are because I have the arrows right here. It says where I took my positions. All right, so at this point here, I'll be looking for, if I see a strong candle, so I want to see a strong red candle. I want to see price to come up, come down really strong, like with a big wick, and then come back up. If it does that, then I'll take that for a buy. But the price action right now is it's kind of stale. Stale because it's been pushing up for so long. So again, if price pushes up higher, this is the target price point. If price doesn't push higher, then that's fine. We'll look for price to come back down. I'll look for it to retest down here, bounce off the pivot, correction back up. Right. So there goes the pattern again right there. This is a pattern that I was just kind of mentioning to you guys. I just don't like how it's currently moving right now. Looks like it's going to push up too. Yep. Looks like it's about to hit its TP. So again, price pulled down, candle was red, pushed right back up, and it's climbing. So there goes that entry again right there that wanted to take, but I was waiting for a deeper pullback. Yeah, exactly. Not enough volatility right now. It's too slow. The last thing I want to do is get caught in a sideways move. So I'm waiting for that volatility to pick back up. It's getting closer and closer to 7 o'clock, guys. So if there's no volatility here and it stays flat, then probably close out my trades for the day. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what we locked in. It's only been like less than 30 minutes. We locked in 3 back-to-back trades, 45 points right there. So pretty solid. I mean, if we could stay focused for the first 30 minutes and catch this volatility, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So again, target price point is going to be the levels right here. There's no retracement. So unfortunately, there's no entry for me to take. You see this right here. It's a little too far. Yeah, it's a little too far up because I wouldn't want to go past the level right here. If this retraces back down a little further, then okay, I'll look for some entries right here down the middle. Right, look for this to come back down, come right back up. But this is the farthest I'll probably try to ride this up to the 850. Not going to take this here. Again, I need this to shift to a green candle, but I'm not going to take this here at all because again, it's too close. I need price to pull back a little more and then come back up. I'm fine if it ranges down here, but I need price to come back down a little bit. And yep, it's probably going to hit the price point now. Pretty sure it's going to hit. Yep, and it hit. So it did exactly what we were expecting. But again, like I said, it was too close. So that's the farthest I would ride it to. See how price comes right back off the levels? That's the farthest I would ride it to. The only problem with this is that we wouldn't be able to confirm this green candle until price was up here. So it just wouldn't work out. But you guys can see this is it's pretty cool and it's pretty straightforward how we're able to identify that, right? So we pretty much rolled this up to at every level. So here's the first thing we hit was the liquidity. I'm gonna delete that because we already used it. We hit the level, hit the level, hit the level. Again, if price wants to push up higher, that's fine, right? It's basically a levels entry. This was basically a levels entry right here. But the volatility here is dying down as we get closer and closer to 7 o'clock. I mean, I'll keep looking for opportunities here, but if it stays a little flat, then I just sit it out. Okay, next target price point. If price does decide to climb up further is going to be the 900 mark right there. So we are. So there's a levels entry right here, but again, the volatility is too low, guys. So I don't really want to mess with it. I mean, for me personally, I don't really want to get stuck in a position here. Yeah, I don't want to get stuck in the consolidation here. If the volatility picks up, I'll look for another opportunity. If not, I'll probably close out my trading panel. I'm happy with my trades for the day. I took 3 back-to-back trades. If you guys took them for full TPs, that's a lot of profit right there, especially depending on what contract size you guys are using. I'm up about 880 per account. So yeah, I'm not in this position right here, but you guys can see the volatility is low. Again, if target price pushes, if pushed up any higher, target price point is going to be up here. But again, this is kind of what we talked about yesterday. The volatility starts to die down at 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock now. We had all this volatility right here, some great entries for opportunities to get in and out. And then now it is flat. So this is kind of expected. So let's see, Nick locked in 1,436 on his 150K Apex. I actually took it on all my accounts, Nick. I know I said I was going to take this on one account, but I took it on all accounts. That's how confident I was with my trading. I told you I was excited to trade today because I haven't traded like this in a while. So all of my accounts, I took them on pretty much everything. Yeah, and this is so if you guys have been following me like over the years, this is what I used to do like a long time ago when I used to trade on FTMO. I used to pass like FTMO challenges like every single day because it was it's just easy when there's volatility in the market. So I think we'll continue to trade this way, guys. I'll try to look for some official entries for you guys, but I think it'd be best if you guys just follow the strategies and you guys understand like what to look for because there was a breakout V3 continuation right here that came up. That was like maybe one of the main entries. But again, the problem is that I kind of catered myself to a lot of beginner traders and that kind of slowed me down. I became too much of a conservative trader and that's just not how I trade. I typically trade this way. And you guys can see how easy it is. Well, not really easy, but I make it look easy to really get in and out of the market, within the first 30 minutes of market open. It's hard to look for the criteria. So like looking for the official entries that we typically look for, it's hard because they don't really come up as often because the volatility is so low. So you kind of have to just trade based off price action, basically using all the tools that I provide to you. So for example, here, I was looking for buys this whole time, like down this middle area because price was above the pivot. So it was bullish, trend meter is green, and the divergence was bullish. So obviously I was looking for some buys here. Same with these sells over here, price was below the pivots. Divergence is bearish, trend meter is bearish. Everything over here kind of like flowed. So the way that we're trading here, or the way that we've been trading is that we're pretty much just flowing with the market, right? We're not really looking for anything too crazy. We're just flowing with the market. If we see price going down, I'll be looking for some sells there. If I see price going up, I'll be looking for some buys there, right? So looking at this right now, we're still looking for some buys here technically. Looks like the volatility is picking back up a little bit, so I'll still be looking for some entries here. I'm not done yet. But yeah, looking at this over here, we're still looking for some possible buys at this point. The candles are moving a lot smaller, but because the trend here is still very strong for a buy, I'll still be looking for some buys. So target price point for me here is going to be the levels. I think the volatility is just way too low though. So let's see. So this is one that I would take, what I would have taken. You guys can see how price came down and it bounced off it, but there's just not enough volatility here. But this is one that I would have been okay taking if there was enough volatility. Because typically what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to, like we're already looking for a bullish bias, right? I'm looking for price to hit this target up here. What I was looking for entries, I'm looking for price to come down and then wick off really hard and then climb up from here. But because the volatility is so low, I mean, it's almost impossible for us to cash these wicks or just, the pushes off. So right here, this would have been a full TP if I would have got it into it. But because the volatility is so low, I'm kind of wary about taking any trades here right now. You'll see that there's a couple flat candles and then there's like one big one, right? Obviously, you want to have a couple big ones. So right now that it's picking up a little bit, if this comes back down and retests kind of hard and comes back up, then I'll be looking to take a possible buy there. But at this very time, it's just not a good time to trade because the volatility is kind of low. Like these were good because all the candles are kind of pushing. This over here, you'll get one big candle, you get a bunch of flat candles, and then you'll be stuck in the position. So looks like we will continue to wait here for the next opportunity. Yeah, the volatility is low. You guys can see from these candles here, they're barely moving. But I'll still be looking for the same thing here. Looking for a nice rejection off pivots and a sharp push back up. Here, let's see. HP said, I'm gonna scroll up to the chat. I'll take a look at the chat now, guys. HP said, wow, very impressed with the new trading style. At this point, we're going to have to worry about the 30% rule. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, yeah, this trading style isn't necessarily new. It's what we used to do in the past. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm writing trades to liquidity, right? That's kind of what we did earlier. You guys don't see the liquidity lines because I took them off already, but I'm basically just I'm writing these waves to price structure. So I'm writing it to either the levels, writing it to either the liquidity, I'm writing it to either the session high lows right here. And I'm just reading the price action, looking at, any types of patterns here, any V1 patterns, breakout V3 continuation, stuff like that. The thing with this is that I'm using a fixed TP stop loss. So the 30% rule shouldn't really be too much of a big deal unless you're like closing out of your positions really early, like at 1, 2 points, which shouldn't be the case, right? You should be probably closing out at maybe like 5, 10, maybe a full TP at most times. And if the volatility is high enough, it'll typically spike to your TP. So I think the 30% rule should be okay. The only thing that will be a problem is if you're like writing it to the actual levels, right? So for example, if you enter from down here and then you write it to this level up here, like not even the first level, but you write it to the next level, then yeah, the 30% rule is going to be a problem because you're going to be having um like 300 profit for your 15 TP stop losses. And then when you have a big move like this up here, you're gonna have like a 3,000, 5,000 profit, right? So yeah, just try to stay consistent to like your TP stop loss, like use the same TP stop loss for every trade, and then your 30% rule shouldn't be a problem. But even so, it shouldn't be a really big problem. You might have that situation happen like where you forget to put a TP at some point, but in a lot of cases, you're gonna just close out anyways. So yeah, HB said, I remember the good old days. Yeah, this was it was just like it. Karen said those were the good days, especially when Trump was president. LOL. Then people started complaining about this way of trading. Um, yeah, because the thing is, it's so quick, and the problem before is that when I used to, so this is the main reason why I stopped trading this way. I was trading this way probably about a year or 2 years ago. We traded like this pretty much every day. And then we had a lot of beginner traders join into the group and they would complain, right? They would complain because they couldn't get into the entries. It was too fast for them. So that's why I started to create strategies where they were like kind of slower paced and you look for specific requirements. But trading that way doesn't always work, especially during this type of market because the volatility is so fast and you can't get entries like that. So I'm just gonna trade the way that I trade, guys. And you guys know how this works. If you guys have been following me for a while, if you guys haven't, you guys can just keep watching me trade and you'll start to pick up on like what I'm doing here because it's not that difficult once you get a feel of like how we're trading here. I'm just trading from levels to levels. I'm not really doing anything crazy. I'm using my tools here to identify stuff like the trend, direction, momentum, etc. But I'm not really doing anything crazy. If you can just see that I'm looking to trade in the direction of wherever the levels are, or the sessions or the liquidity, then you can kind of just follow along with my price action. And my price action pattern is like very simple. I'm looking for a small wick down and then a correction back up. And I'm basically looking for it to hit the next level. So I'll just trade this way because I mean, this is the way that I've always traded. And whenever I trade by myself, this is usually how I trade anyways, because I don't have to answer questions like, oh, this is how this works, or this is how that works. And we can just flow with the market. So this style of trading is I just call it like market flow, or not really market flow, but you're basically flowing with the market. That's kind of what you're doing. You're just reaching for the next level. So level right there, level right there, level right there. Again, right here, level right here, right? So it did the same thing. It's just that because the volatility is kind of low and there's no price action area over here for me to look at. There just wasn't any entry here for me to take. So now that price is up here, price may come back down, retest this lower level. And if it comes back up, I'll look for it to again retest this upper level. So we'll see where this goes from here. Let's see, Jessica's asking, hey Sean, when I try to enter a trade, it tells me I can't trade CBOT Mini YM 2020. Are you trading on Apex, Jessica? Because you'd have to trade on the actual symbol. So I don't know if you're trading on this YM right here. You'd have to trade, or I mean, you can trade on here. I'm not sure why you're getting that error. The only thing I could think of is that you're not on the proper contract. So I don't know if you rolled over your contracts. The contract rolled over about a couple weeks or about a week ago. So I think that might be the case, Jessica. Um, so I'm not sure if you rolled over your contracts. If you haven't rolled over, just go to like Google it. I'd give you the link, but or let me see if I can find it here. So contract rollover, and you're on TradeOgate, I believe, right? So I'm gonna put this link over here for you, Jessica. TradeOgate contract rollover. Because the only thing I can think of is that you're on the wrong contract. Yeah, no problem. So there's a link right there. Let's see. Natasha said, "I love this way. It helps me trade even better." Yeah, I like trading this way too because we're more engaged with the market, right? We're not kind of just hanging around waiting for stuff to happen. We're actually looking for stuff to happen in the market. As you guys can see, the volatility is pretty low now, guys. So I'm not really looking to take any entries here at this point. I'll keep watching, but the volatility here is very low. So I don't think we're going to be able to like do what we've been doing. Like the target price points down here are probably not going to get hit because it's probably just going to sit up here for like the rest of the day. If price decides to climb up higher, the move will be up here at this next level. Well, so here's a couple of things that can happen. Price will come down, bounce off, come back to this level, maybe break above, then this level, right? A couple of things there that can happen. But because the volatility here is so low, probably not going to happen anytime soon. Let's see. Daniel's asking, when it swings down and wicks back up, do you wait for the candle to close? No, so I don't wait for any candles to close. I just, as soon as it wicks back up. So for example, right here, see how this thing wicked down a little bit? Oh, fuck. So this would have been an entry here. I was trying to look for a good example to show you guys. The problem here is that the volatility is so low that you don't really see it very, very cleanly. So see, for example, right here, Daniel, see how price is coming down and see how it's red right now. And if it swings back up green, as soon as it swings up, like for example, right here, that's where I would have entered it. But because the volatility is so low right here, I'm not expecting this to just shoot right up, right? So that's why, and it could shoot right up like it did right there, and it's probably gonna hit its TP. Yeah, it did. Fuck. So that's exactly what I was looking for. There goes a clear example of what I would have taken. Price was red, came down, and then so I'm looking for the bounces off structure. So for example, right here, see how it bounces off the pivot? That's like pure price action right there. Price came down, was like, nope, we're not coming down, we're coming right back up. And then it shot up, and the target price point would have been the level right here. Again, the volatility is too low, so I wouldn't mess in this type of market. I mean, but this is like exactly what I was looking for. So the volatility is not horrible, but it's not great. See that right there? Easy, easy, simple entry. Because you're just riding to the next level. So like again, right here, if price pushes up higher, like that's the same pattern I'd be looking for. So again, if price comes up and it does the same thing, like duh, I'm looking for price to go up here, right? Like you just got to keep it simple, guys. I feel like a lot of people try to overcomplicate trading, you know, like, oh, trade off supply and demand, trade off, like, bro, you could just flow with the market. You don't really have to trade off like those levels. The levels are right in front of you. See the pivots? The levels are literally in front of you. They're following price. So you don't have to wait for price to go hit support resistance or supply and demand or anything like that. You just wait for it to hit your structure, look for that price action, and then you can ride it to the next structure right there. That's why these tools here, so like I mentioned, like pretty much every day, I said, you know, none of these tools are meant to be used in conjunction with each other. They're not meant to be used. Well, I mean, they can be used as a specific strategy, like a breakout V3 continuation or a pivot scalp or something like that. You guys can use that, but the real power in these tools that I created are from riding the wave. Like you have it's a trend trading strategy based off momentum. So like that's the momentum, the price action, right? Price comes down, it rejects off the pivot, and then you catch the momentum back up. And then your target price point is going to be the next level, the next. So for example, here, if we weren't looking at the levels, let me just back up a little bit. So say, for example, I turn off the levels right here, right? You could still reach, you could push to the liquidity. That's why I created this indicator. So that's why we have liquidity up here, because the actual target is up here, but the mini targets are at the levels, right? Or if you wanted, if price ended up reversing, so say, for example, price reversed from here, right? Say price decides to finally come back down. If it comes back down, where's our target price point going to be? The sessions, right? Or opening price, because that's typically what happens. Once it hits a top or a ceiling, it's going to come down to the sessions. So these tools that I created, they're not meant to be like a plug and play type tool, like where it's like, oh, you see a momentum, take a buy there. I mean, you can take a buy there, but you should be using it as a confluence. Everything here is a confluence. So I think everything is starting to make sense to a lot of people here because they haven't seen this really applied in the way that I meant for it to be applied. It's meant to be applied to the confluence. So like, for example, here, if I see price break below the pivots and it comes below this point here, and I see a sell momentum and I see a higher high right here, obviously a V1 pattern, then this is telling me that price is coming down. So now I have a bias to look for a sell, right? And once you have a bias to look for a sell, then you're just going to look for price to come down further. And you'll just take little buys or little sells in between this area. And then if you have the levels here, you have even smaller targets. So price comes down, you're like, okay, I'll push for this target, or I'll push for this target or this one. And CJ actually took the trade earlier. Nice work, CJ. Yeah, CJ said exactly. The pivots help you ride the wave. And that's the whole point about it. So I'm still not looking for any entries here right now, guys. I mean, if anything, we're still bullish. So price comes down a little lower, bounces off and comes back up, possibly look for a buy here. But because the volatility is so low, I'm not really looking for anything here specific. If the volatility picks up and starts to actually move, then okay, I'll start looking for some entries there. But if not, I'm pretty happy with my profits for the day so far. Didn't make a lot, but I made decent. I mean, once I get more and more comfortable, I'll probably increase my contract size a little bit. But right now, I'm keeping it at I don't even know what contract size I'm using. I'm keeping it at 8 right now. I should be at 10, but just wanted to give a little feeler today. So again, right here, guys, so we have a V1 pattern. This is another confirmation that price is likely to keep climbing. So we got a V1 pattern right here. Now I would be looking for price action to continue pushing up higher. So again, right here, you can see how this candle right here is going to swing back up. If it swings back up, this will probably push up to, there we go. So again, right there, it swung back up, but I wouldn't take it because the volatility is so low. If the volatility was actually moving and this was like going back and forth, then okay, great. I would have taken this right here, bounced off it, and then ride this back up to the upper level. But you got to know how to play your cards. Like just because you see the pattern there doesn't mean you should take a trade. The volatility is too low. It's probably best to just sit out, wait for the volatility to pick back up, and then eventually it'll probably shoot up. So I wouldn't mess with this trade here. This will probably hit, but I'm not going to mess with it. You can see right there, it's pushing up. And it's probably going to push up to the level. It's just ranging between this area here. So if I would have taken this trade, I would have pulled out already for a partial. I wouldn't have held on to it. Because I would have seen how this price action was moving, and I just would have pulled out already. Because it's not moving fast enough. Typically, I want it to just spike up right away and hit my TP. I wouldn't wait for the candle to close. Because if you guys will see here, I could almost guarantee if this candle doesn't push up within this candle close, it's going to pull back down. Because it's consolidating right here. See how it's pushing back down? That's why I would have pulled out right here. It's just it's pure price action. Just looking at the candlestick patterns. And then right here, it's probably going to push up now. So I still would have pulled out right here. And there you go, full TP on that if you guys decided to take it and to the target. So you guys can see it, super simple. Super simple here. I mean, that would have been another full TP. I'm all good though. So let me go up real quick. Hey, Sean, let me look at your question because I know you had a question up earlier. I just missed it because there's so many questions over here. Let me scroll up real quick. Yeah, so Sean said thought of taking the MPS, but I believe price is way too overextended, which could have easily spike down and hit stop loss, then go back up. Maybe looking for another MPS would be better with less risk now. Yeah, so now so yeah, I would have avoided the MPS earlier because of the overextension, but because you can see over here that we have new lows. So for example, look at this over here. Sean, basically what you would measure from is from the nearest low, right? So from this low right here, you measure it up and you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely overextended. But since there's new lows right here, then you could, you could just measure from there. You're like, okay, it's fine. Or if you're looking at an MPS from right here, you're measuring it from here and you're like, okay, that's fine. It's only up like 50 points. So yeah, I would wait for new lows to be established, and then from there you can measure to see if it's overextended again. All right, so it looks like price might be pushing up a bit higher from here. I'll keep looking for another opportunity. We do have news at 7:30, so probably not. Yeah, it's just it's kind of flat. So I don't like how I like how the candles are moving, but I don't like how they're not really directional. So the next target price point is obviously going to be the next level up here. But the volatility here is I mean, obviously it's pretty low. So as we wait for this here to kind of pick up a little bit, or if we wait until news over here, I'm just gonna go and mark up all of the entries from today. Okay. So let me go over here real quick, guys. We had the first entry that was right here for a sell. And then I'll post up my profits as well. And for this here, I'll just call this market flow. Because it's going to be a little difficult for me to, or I'll just put this over here real quick. So we got one right there. The second one was right next to it. I gotta put a timestamp on these. All right, so I know where the entries were. 6:34. This was at 6:36. And then this one over here was at all right, so these are the three entries that I took for the day, 6:49. You guys want to go back and take a look at that later. Okay. So let's go back to the chart real quick. Let's see if the volatility picked up at all. Um, hmm. Right, so if this swings back up into a green candle, I would take this here for a buy. Probably not going to happen, but in the scenario that it does push up at the last second, I think that's enough volatility for me to climb this up. So I'll be watching it here. No, not enough. So I'll be watching the next one over here. I want it to come down a little harder. The volatility is not strong enough for me. I need it to come down a little harder, maybe bounce off the pivots and then come back up green. Like I know it's bouncing up right here, but it's not enough volatility for me to want to take anything at this point. Okay, so perfect. This is a nice drop right here. So if it swings back up green, this could be a possible correction back to the upside. So I'll be watching. It still has like 30 seconds left on the candle. It's a lot of time. This might even bounce off the level down here. Actually, you're right. Thanks, Nick. There's news coming up at 7:30, so I'm not going to put myself in that situation. But again, I'll look for the opportunity here. Yeah, thanks, Nick. Totally forgot about that. So this isn't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to come down. I'm just looking for price action to really have a sharp push down and then a push back up. That's how supply is typically created. So if you guys trade supply and demand, that's usually what a lot of people are looking for, right? You're looking for the big push down and then you're looking for it to push right back up because you're looking at all the supply to get hit and then it pushes back up and that becomes a supply zone. So you're basically anticipating a zone to be created into supply. We're on the 1 minute, so it's not going to be as clean. Of course, you can see it better on the higher time frames, but not as much on the lower ones. V1 pattern right there, possibly, but we got news over here at 7:30. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up with my trading for the day, guys. We'll keep looking for entries here, but I'm pretty much done with my actual trading. So what I'm gonna do here is I'll take a screenshot of all of my profits for the day. We had a pretty great day, 3 back-to-back wins. Profits are a little bit smaller than usual because of smaller contract size, but it's all good. All right, so we got news coming up in a few moments. Here are my profits for the day. I mean, it's a pretty good day for the most part. Pretty much good day. So yeah, HP said, great job. I'm gonna go back and study the live. So yeah, if you guys, I mean, I highly recommend you do this because like HP, you know, it's good that you're taking the initiative because if you guys can understand what I'm doing here, tomorrow is going to be like a field day for you guys because you guys will just watch me do the same thing again tomorrow. And I'll be writing trades from like zone to zone, level to level, liquidity to liquidity. And you guys will be able to pick up on that price action because it's really just studying the price action. If you study the price action well enough, you guys already know where to trade. Like I'll give you guys a direction. I'll say like, okay, we're looking for buys here and I'm looking for price to hit, you know, obviously this target up here. So if you can just watch that price action, you can get in at a lot of different times. So for example, over here, let me just show you guys, there's a lot of opportunities here when price bounced off the pivots, right? So for example, see how price pushed up, came down. You can tell that this candle was red before because there's a wick below it. So price came down below, and then when it pushed back up, there could have been an entry here for a buy, right? Full TP, just ride it up to the next level right there. Same thing with this over here, right? Price came up, came back down on this green candle, and then obviously another rejection right there. It doesn't have to happen on a pivot, but if it happens on a pivot, the odds of it pushing up are super likely. Or you can see the rejection off a level, right? It's basically a levels entry. So see how price pushed up right here? You have a little wick right here below because you know price was red for like maybe a split second or so. And then as soon as it climbed back up, that'd be another opportunity for entry right there. See? So yeah, I think that's great that you're taking the initiative, HP. And I think if you do, you'll be more prepared for the session tomorrow. Because I'll be doing the same thing tomorrow. All right, here's the news candle, guys. Got news right there. I'm actually excited for news because there's going to be so much more volatility. I think tomorrow we have some news too. So that was medium impact news right there at 7:30. It was negative. Tomorrow we have some news events. The big news happens on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, so Wednesday over here we have high impact news at 7. High impact news over here on Thursday, and then same on Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, high impact news. Tomorrow we have some medium impact news. Nothing too crazy, but still something to look at. So let's take a look at the team profits first before I add mine up. So we got some profits over here. Natasha, here's her PA count. She says, loving this style of trading. You're trading like how I trade on my phone. So Natasha locked in a total profit of 322. Nice work, Natasha. Max over here said was riding the wave with confluences while trailing stop loss somewhat tightly. So Max over here locked in 400 on his first account, 520 on his second, 530 on his third, 530 on his fourth, 530 on his fifth, and 570 on his sixth account. So he has 5, 10, 15, 20, about well over 3,000 for the day. Nice work, Max. We also have David over here, total profit of 135. Nice work, David. We got Kenneth over here. Nice return with profits. I haven't seen Kenneth post profits in a while. Total profit of 7,500 per account. He has 4 accounts there, so 14, 28. Yeah, about 28,000 right here for Kenneth. Nice work, Kenneth. All wins for the day. And then we have Amal here with a total profit of 700. All wins. Nice work, Amal. So guys, yeah, hopefully tomorrow, a lot of you guys will be able to follow along a lot better because you guys already know what to expect since we kind of covered this today. And hopefully we'll have more profits again in the profit posting. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I'm going to add up my profits for the day. So I locked in, let's see. I'll just add these up over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 8,400 plus 880 plus 880 plus 880 plus 880 plus 880 plus 800 plus 800 plus 800 plus 315 plus 300 plus 300 plus 200. So total profit of 17,915 for the day. Not bad. We took 3 trades here. I lowered my risk. I took 8 contracts instead of the normal 20. So obviously my profits were a lot smaller, but 3 back-to-back wins. So not too bad. That's where I'm setting my so that's my threshold. I'm setting my threshold per day so I can keep trading to 3 back-to-back losses. So if I lose 3 losses, 3 net losses for the day, then I'm pretty much done for the day. And you know, as we continue to progress with this trading style, I'll obviously increase my contract size. Right now it's just a feeler for the day to see if I can still do it because I haven't traded this way in a while. Obviously I can do it. You can see we've taken some pretty good trades today. So I'm kind of excited for the rest of the summer actually, because I was really getting like kind of slowed down because of the market. And I'm glad that we're back to our fast-paced trading. It keeps us more engaged with the market. I feel like time flies by a lot faster because we're actively analyzing the chart and we're like just sticking to one chart here versus going between, you know, 5, 6 charts over here that I have up top. So price, again, if price continues to push up higher, the target price point is going to be the level right there. There was actually an entry right here. I don't know if anybody spotted this one right here, but there was with this rejection. So with this green candle right here, price was actually down. You can know it's down because there was a wick down here and then it pushed up. So there's actually an opportunity right here for a buy. The only problem is that it happened right after news. So I probably would have been a little careful because the news was negative. So I think buys there would have been a little tricky. Nice. Yeah, Natasha took it. CJ said he saw it, but it was still close, too close to news for him. Yeah, and I agree with you too, CJ. I would have done the same thing. It just happened too close. The news was negative, so I probably would have sat out of that one. But I mean, still would have played through. So nice work, Natasha, on catching that there. Sadie caught his high-low scalp partial. So the thing with the high-low scalps too, guys, that you guys can look for is that you can probably catch it before it actually closes, right? So for example, over here, see how this one over here was pushing up? I mean, if you really wanted to just, this high-low scalp was actually considered a liquidity. So what I'm going to do here too, guys, is I'm going to mark up liquidity on the 1 minute. We usually don't do that, but I'm going to mark up the liquidity on the higher highs and the lower lows. So for example, over here, see how this was a liquidity? You could have actually entered your high-low scalp like right there. Like right when it passed it. Because it would have been liquidity, right? So you would have caught the liquidity and then would have pushed it through. Nice. So Sadie actually caught that one right there. So same with this over here, you know, it works the same way across the board. It's just a little shortcut. I know typically I've taught you guys not to chase trades and I've taught you guys not to and to wait for the candles to close. But once you become a more advanced trader and you're able to read price action, you don't really have to wait for the candles to close. If you can anticipate price is going to push and there's volatility behind it, then you can just take the trade. That's basically how we traded today. I didn't wait for any candles to close. I just waited to see price action. Once I saw the price action, I entered. The entries that we're taking here, you guys probably remember the strategy. It was like a high-low quick scalp. If you guys remember the high-low quick scalp, that's literally what we're doing here. So again, like I said, those strategies that I've taught you guys in the past, they're all coming to, you know, full picture now. Because if you guys remember the high-low quick scalp strategy, that's literally what we're entering from here, the price action. So price kind of comes down a little bit, and when it shoots back up, that's where you take the entry. If you remembered from the high-low quick scalp, the way that we took that trade was when price came down and you saw a low right there. As soon as price pushed back up, you would have taken the entry, right? So it's the same thing. It's just, you know, you got to refer back to what we did in the past because it's like we don't really change the way we trade. It's the same thing. It's just little variances as to like where your entry points happen. So again, right here, I said target price point would have been this level right here, and that's where price pushed up to. There's actually another entry right here that happened that I missed, but it's okay because my Ninja Trader is closed, so I can't even take anything right now. But again, right here, you see how this wick was down below? This means the candle was red before. So the candle pushed down below and then it pushed up and you could have caught this right here for a buy. And you could have, so there's two different ways of doing this. You can either go for the 15 points or you can go for the entire push to the next level, right? Sometimes it's going to be higher, sometimes it's going to be less. But you guys can see it's pretty straightforward. Nice, Jamie caught that one. Nice work, Jamie. Nice work to everybody here. You guys are doing pretty good. I mean, you guys are just watching me explain this today and you guys are able to just follow along. A lot of you guys here have been around for a while though. So Jamie's been around for a while. So I'm pretty sure you kind of anticipated it. Same with Natasha and same with, you know, CJ and a couple other people here. We're catching these moves. So we got some more team profits here. We got Jet over here. Jet said, love the fast-paced trading we're doing. Great comeback, Sean. Definitely. So Jet over here locked in 1,500 on his first account, 1,900 on his second. And then for his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accounts down here, 2,500. So we'll say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18. He locked in about 20,000 for the day, or probably more than that. Jet locked in well over 20,000 across all of his accounts. So nice work right there, Jet. We got more profits here from Natasha. She locked in 238 on her second account. Nice work, Natasha. Natasha's been killing it, guys. She trades on her phone, which is, I think, is unbelievable. But she does these same scalp moves on her phone. So if Natasha can do it, you guys can do it. It's well, if Natasha can do it on her phone, then you guys could definitely do it on your computer. Again, guys, I've closed down my Ninja Trader, so I'm not taking any more trades. It's going to take too long for me to reopen everything and turn on my copier. But I'll keep looking for some opportunities over here. It's still climbing, so the next target price point is going to be this next level up here. This is the next level. Again, right here, price is pulling back a little bit. So like I said before, I would like to see a strong pullback and then correction back up. So same pattern again right here, guys. So see how this is a red candle? If this here pushes back up, possibly expect this to to push through. Let's see, Vimal said you can save your workspace on NinjaTrader so you don't have to set up the copier every time. Does that save the copier too? I'm gonna try that out. Thanks, Vimal. I've done it before, but for some reason it doesn't save. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's because like so when I did that before, when you do the or Windows update, it kind of it deletes everything on your NinjaTrader. I'm not sure if that happens to you guys. So I turned off my Windows update because whenever my Windows updates, it pretty much just turns my NinjaTrader into a brand new NinjaTrader. It's like nothing's there. None of my accounts are there. Like literally nothing's there. No accounts, no saved workspaces. But I'll try it again because maybe it works now since I haven't updated it. Gotcha. Okay, so Vimal said, yeah, it saves the copier configuration. Do not close the copier. Okay, I think that's the case. That's what happens with me. It's because I close the windows out before I close my NinjaTrader. So it ends up not having any of those windows open. Okay. Thanks, Vimal. I'll do that. Yeah, appreciate the help. Okay, guys. So again, right here, if this pushes up, this will probably push up higher. So, but the volatility is too low. So see right here how this pushes back up. The entry would have happened right there when price pushed back up. But again, I think the volatility is a little too low right here. So I wouldn't really mess with it myself personally. But this will probably push up and hit its TP. Same price action move there. You can see it bounce off the level. And again, if price pushes up higher, the target price point is going to be the level up here. All right, so let's see if there's anything else over here that I'm missing. Yeah, so you guys can see here how the volatility is super low. If I was in this position, I would have closed out early. So see how it's in profit right now? I would have just pulled out of this position because I don't want to hold on to a position when the volatility is just going sideways, right? I need this to fill my order and then go straight up right away. At this point, would have pulled out for profit again. I wouldn't let this put me at risk because at this point, price can really go either way, right? I'm not going to be too attached to the position because now that I lowered my risk, I can take multiple positions, right? I'm not just stuck with like one position for the day. I would have pulled out for partials at this point. Nice. So Sadie actually pulled out partials too. I think this will probably hit, but the thing is you don't want to put your account at risk, right? So yeah, I would have pulled out of there in partial because there's no direction. So I'm only going to take positions when like there's volatility in the market because if there isn't, it's just not really worth the risk at all. Exactly. And Sadie said it's overextended as well. So, all right, guys, as we get closer to 8 o'clock, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If you guys have any questions regarding this trading style? Again, this trading style is nothing new. We've done this before. I mean, this used to be the way that we used to always trade. The main reason why I didn't do this for a while was because people were complaining that they couldn't get into the trades, or they were complaining that I was getting into positions and I wasn't telling people ahead of time, right? Because they weren't listening to the analysis. Again, here's price pushing up. Like I said, it's probably going to push up to the where's the setup from earlier? There's the entry right there, full TP now. This is probably going to push up to the level. But yeah, like I was saying, so I used to trade like this every day back then when we were trading with FTMO. So if you guys remember, I was trading with FTMO, MFF. People, it was usually a lot of the beginner traders, they would be complaining because they couldn't get into the positions. They didn't understand what was going on because they just weren't paying attention, right? So if you guys pay attention, you listen to my analysis, I'm literally telling you what I'm looking for, and I'm telling you where price is going through. Yeah, HP said, I remember taking trades just hearing your MT4. Yeah, so back then my MT4 used to make this clicking sound, and I wouldn't tell people, well, I would tell people I'm entering a position, but I wouldn't exactly say, hey, I'm entering right here. You would just hear the click noise from an MT4. It'd be like click, and then everybody would know I'm in a position, and they would just get in without even looking at the chart, and everybody would make profit. That's basically the same style of trading. It's just now I'm kind of telling you guys when I'm entering, and I'm giving you guys a heads up. But yeah, back then a lot of people would complain about that. They would say, like this guy's taking all these trades and not even sharing it with us, or like this guy's making all this profit and he's just like gatekeeping. But I wasn't really gatekeeping. I was telling you guys like, hey, I'm entering this position. It was just the people that were complaining weren't following along. So as long as you guys follow along, I'll try to give you guys as much of a heads up as possible. I'll tell you like, hey, this is where price is going to go. So I'm looking for buys here. And then I'll look for some price action moves to ride it to that point, right? So for example, again, right here, there could be another entry. This movement has not touched the target price point yet, right? So the entry actually came up right here again. It's not a strong entry, but I would have waited for this to maybe come down. So see how this is a big red candle? Not a big red candle, but it's big enough. So if this candle here swings back up and becomes green, that's where the entry would happen right here. If you guys want to put like a buy stop right there, you could do that as well. And then this here would push back up to that next level. Yeah, no, exactly. CJ said if people complain, they need to study outside of the live and pay attention or sit back and just watch. Yeah, no, and I agree too, CJ, but it's okay. I mean, now that this group is a lot smaller, back then we had a bigger group. So like we had a lot of beginner traders who would jump into the live sessions and it was difficult for them because they didn't know how to trade at all. Now that we have this smaller group that we trade with, I think it's fine that we can trade this way. Because I'm not really opening this up to the public as much anyways. And I think this is beneficial for everybody because it's fast paced. You're able to follow along. You're able to know what's going on. And I think this is even better because everybody's kind of entering at different places. We're not always entering on the same candle. Some people will see the rejection and they'll enter right away. And there's like a lot of different opportunities here for entries to get in. Like, for example, we looked at, I think, about like 20 entries today, right? There's another entry right here that's running. I just marked it out for you guys. Another entry right here that's running. It's probably going to push up, hit its TP, and push up further and hit the target level right there. So again, if I was in this position, I probably would have closed out early. Like at this point, you're like away by like 1 point. I would have closed out for a partial. It's probably gonna hit TP. There you go, full TP right there. So pretty much straightforward. Yeah, Lamal said I agree. People just have to listen and click the button. Yeah, exactly. And you guys could you can literally make mistakes taking this trade. Like for example, you might not get in right at this point. You can get in like right here and you can still pull out for partial, right? You can pull out for partials. You can ride it to the next level. There's a lot of different ways to take these entries. Like you can go for the 15 points or you can go for a bigger point, right? Like for example, this one right here, if you took this lower entry right here, you could have technically rode this up higher to like the top. That would have been a 42-point move right there. I mean, it would have taken a while to hit, but it's still going to hit the target that we initially pointed out, right? So this is going to get hit eventually. I don't know when, but it's eventually going to get hit. See, like right here, this thing is moving super slow. So I would have just pulled out. But if you're like the type of person to hold on to this position, look at that big move right there. It's a 42-point push. But all right. So other than that, yeah, Sadie said definitely gotta rewatch this session and some previous ones. Yeah, no, definitely. And just remember, guys, use all the tools to your advantage. Like I created these tools for you guys to use. They're not meant to be just like a one-time use thing. Like the pivots here are meant for multiple things, right? To identify trend, to identify the rejections. The trend meter down here is to identify the overall trend. The divergence here is to identify initial momentum. The momentum signal here is obviously used to identify momentum standalone. The high lows here are to identify liquidity and higher highs and lower lows, for the high-low scalps. And the sessions here are to identify areas of manipulation. So just keep that in mind. Everything here is used for a reason. Like we only look for buys here because we use these tools to identify that. Like if I wasn't to have all these tools on here, probably be a little difficult for me to know exactly where to be trading, right? Because price is going sideways right here. So it would have been tough for me to look for any buys here. I probably would have just sat out the market. You see how price is going sideways here, but because we had my tools here, we were able to take some buys around this area. So, all right, guys, it's 7:50. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I think I've answered all the questions for today. If you guys have any more questions and I didn't answer them, feel free to put them in the chat right now. Otherwise, I think I'm going to wrap this up for the day. We'll come back tomorrow, do the same thing. I'll try to look for some official entries for the beginner traders here, but for the most part, we're going to focus on these like quicker scalps, market flow. And it's going to be pretty straightforward. I think this is going to be easier. If you guys are a new trader, this is kind of throwing you into the deep end. So like you're kind of learning really fast. And as long as you go back and you review these live sessions. So for example, if you were completely confused about what we did today, I recommend reviewing the live session, at least for the first 30 minutes, right? From 6:30 to 7, because that's where we took all the entries. And I explained exactly what I was doing. I explained where the target price points were. I was looking for certain market structure, certain market patterns, certain candle patterns. And we took these quick trades over here right on open. And we took one trade right here. And then it kind of flattened out as we got closer to 7 o'clock. So yeah, CJ said, right, if I'm all in HP, I passed my first flooded challenge by listening to Sean and those clicks. Like I was taking one of those hearing tests in elementary school. Yeah, back then it was a lot more difficult, guys. I'm not gonna argue with that. It was a lot more difficult for you guys to follow my trades because I didn't really talk very much. I kind of just waited for entries to happen, analyzing the market, and you would hear my computer make noises when I was entering position. So people would just enter when I would enter. But now I'm giving you guys a heads up. I'm telling you, okay, this is a target price point, or this is a target price point, and I'm looking for certain price action to get in. And I'll try to be a little more thorough, but for the most part, again, tomorrow I'll be focused on just trading, and I'll answer questions towards the end of the session like we did today. So yeah, exactly. CJ said it made me better though. I knew I had to study. So now CJ's here and he's killing it. So all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any more profits, feel free to send them in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here again tomorrow, same time, to run back the live session. So, all right, guys, if you guys have questions,